Today is June 15th, 2025. This audio file is about a phrase that my ex-husband said to me during our breakup. And he said, "We are getting divorced for nothing." That alone is proof that he had no self awareness. He was not aware of the difficulties in the marriage, and he had no concern, nor compassion, or empathy for how his behavior affected me, nor did he care about my feelings. Whether my feelings were right or wrong, or misunderstood, or confusing, or taken out of context, um, he had no care of how I felt, to understand how I felt, to get a revelation of how I felt, to try to understand how I felt, or even to communicate with me about what I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, and how his behavior affected that feeling, or even if I was in the wrong, um if I interpreted something incorrectly, which I did not. I don't believe I did. But even if I did, he did not take the time to communicate with me, to inquire with me, to try to understand me, to sit down and resonate with me as far as what I was feeling, how I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, and what could be done to resolve it. He had um no no I don't know, I guess capacity, but nor a willingness or a concern to try to fix it. Now, he would stand there and bellow out, "I stood there and fought for my marriage." But what does that look like? That's just words to say. What are the actual actions that were done? And so at this point, I know, just knowing, in hindsight, reviewing his behavior in the marriage and not understanding, but the patterns of his character, um, have displayed to me, to an understanding that he had no capacity, um, nor maturity, emotional maturity, financial maturity, responsibility. He had none of the things that would allow him to fix this marriage, to act, responsibly and accordingly, and in alignment with me as a person within this marriage. Nor should he have ever been. We should never have been married. But I'll set my flaws for my flaws, but I am, understanding his limitations as a person, to properly and successfully and responsibly, um, engage and perform and participate in, a legitimate, peaceful, godly marriage with me. It wasn't formed in the space of the divine, and it could not, exist or continue as I got rid of or moved further on the light side of things, and he stayed in darkness or moved further into darkness. So I understand that on a spiritual level, but in the human capacity of things, I do understand that he was just not created, equipped enough to handle me in the realm of this type of relationship on earth. Um, and it's my fault. I chose incorrectly. I overlooked things, and in a sense, I thought that I could fix the things that was wrong with him or that had injured him in the past. And that's my fault because although God has created me as a healer, I do not choose who I am to heal. My job is to seek guidance from the Lord as far as who He is assigning me to. And God did not assign me to Him for healing. God did not in this moment, I do not feel that God assigned me to Him at all. I know for sure that some voids in my life that were being occupied by demonic spirits and were what were summoning him to me. And I chose for myself through my voids of loneliness, sadness, abandonment, um, age factor, feeling like, oh, it's now or never, and just being tired of doing life alone. I gravitated to a person who I thought could fulfill the emptiness that I had in my life at that time. And for whatever reason, I felt that since he had been married before, he would know how to be married, not knowing the significant details of that marriage. I just thought that he knew how to be married. I had assumptions of men that I thought that being of a male, just male species, in a human, that there were certain things that a male would know, but I found out that every male doesn't know all the manly things that I assumed that he would know. So that was my misconception. I also, in my mind, thought like, oh, if a person can love their mother, because I've been in situations with men who did not love their mother and they ended up being violent towards me. So I felt like, oh, if a man loves his mother, he can love me. I neglected to realize that there is a thin line between loving your mother and then having some unhealthy relationship dependency on your mother as an adult. So it went too far to the loving your mother. Um, as far as the marriage was concerned, it was a very unhealthy attachment from both of them, and an enablement that I was not aware of. I didn't know existed, I guess. So there was a lot of what they call red flags, but there was a lot of things that I overlooked because what I thought I needed and wanted in a person, as a partner, I thought that he could fulfill, even though he did not show any type of fruit or any type of capabilities of doing that. I just assumed that 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 he would that he would do it at some point. And so that was my neglectfulness based off of a desire to overall not be alone anymore and to have help. Once I got into the marriage, I realized that most of the things that I thought that I needed a man for, he did not possess. I thought that I wanted. I'll say I wanted, and I thought I wanted a man that would protect me and I didn't have protection. He abandoned me on every level, and even put out lies to leave me unprotected and open and vulnerable for attacks based off of his lies, not even things that I was actually doing. I wanted a partner to come in half on the bills and if not more. And he did not show up, even with half his money. It was always a struggle to get him to pay. I wanted a man who would do the things I didn't want to do. The harder things like repairing stuff and um, having difficult conversations of business matters. And he didn't know how to fix things. He didn't inquire or do any research on how to fix things. He just shrugged his shoulders and was more of a I don't know, I don't know, and to the point of I don't care, It's like, okay, well, this is broken, but okay, that was his disposition on that. If it came to a business conversation, he would just neglect and avoid it until I did it. So it's like everything that I wanted help with, I didn't get any help. So I basically took on another child and whatever actual children that he brought with him. Uh, and it was so unreasonable, unfair, and not what I expected at all. But it was my own doing because he never displayed or showed any signs of responsibility, know how, or any caretaking type of characteristics. And I assumed that with me, he would step up and start doing those things, and he did not. So basically, I went kind of blindly into a marriage with him, assuming that he had the potential to do the things in the environment with me, but he did not step up to the table. And part of it could have been that he didn't want to. Part of it could have been that he didn't know how to. And part of it could have been he didn't have the capacity or maturity to step up or learn, or the willingness to learn. And he, as I